Hi and welcome to another RC Pilot Pete Watson video. Today I'd like to share with you my final conclusions on the Flywing MH-60T with the new ACE flight controller. This is only my opinion, of course, and nothing more. I'm not sponsored by Flywing at all, so it's a genuine hobbyist opinion on the model. The only thing I can really compare it with is my other Flywing helicopter I got, which is the 450L sports helicopter. I think I was one of the early ones in the UK to receive this helicopter. I think a long time now. I've had plenty of issues with this, but more so the belt slipping off, etc. But if you look in the channel and use the link above, you can follow through those problems that I ironed out as I went. So the actual 450L is a sports helicopter, typical frame, boom, and a canopy at the front. Of course, the MH-60T is a scale helicopter. So what we have is a body where the battery will fit in side. So other than this though, the mechanics are the same principles, everything is good. With the mechanics, I like the mechanics of the Flywing equipment. So the push rods and that go up onto the head and through the swash plate up to the actual blade head are all fixed lengths, so nothing can go wrong in the setup. Yes, they are inevitable that they will break because they will weaken over time, but therefore would a metal and ball link type setup. So like for like, the mechanics are the same, except for on the MH-60 you're just getting the actual mechanical block which mounts onto the wood. This is easily removable for any repairs that you may have to do, or servicing you have to do, and that's it. There's no boom. The tail motor is just mounted into the tail section, so there's no boom coming through like like my MD500 that's working from an aligned T-Rex setup that has the boom going through. It needs the boom to hold on to the tail rotor, etc. So let me say this is not the case in the scale helicopter or the M450L from Flywing, which does have the boom. So really all we're going to compare is the flight controller, because here there's not a subtle difference, there's a big difference. So on the 450L you have an on-off switch, you have the GPS, home and 3D mode or 6G mode, depending on which version of the 450 you had. Basically that where it turns it to a helicopter, a standard helicopter, and you have to fly it, you have to control it, and there's no self-leveling. It literally is its own control, let's say. It is obviously like a 6-axis flight controller like you would have, but it's not got the GPS stabilization. Then you have the circular movement and the set configuration with the 450L, and also you have the flip mode. On the new ACE controller it's fully different. So what we have is an on-off switch as per the 450, and then really from here on it's more or less different. You have a return to home switch, which it has to be in when you're arming like the 450L. Then you have the GPS, which is setting the GPS. I'm not saying it's doing the same function. And then you have the FFL mode, which is flight leveling mode. The other then switch that you have is a link between your tail rotor and your aileron. So if you want to do a turn and bank, I demonstrated this in the flying video, which again the link is above. You have the opportunity then just to use the tail rotor to turn. So if you turn left, the helicopter would rotate left, but also it would automatically bank it to the angle of aggression that you move the stick. The downside that I have for the H1 control, the ACE controller, there's actually two. One is you can't switch this into full helicopter mode. It's always got this self-leveling mode. The downside for this for me is I'm wanting to fly RC helis to a progression where I'm flying a normal RC heli like my MD500. And like with any stabilization system, when you do the turn, you have to keep the stick pushed over to keep the turn on. If you don't do this with the self-leveling, it obviously just rights itself back. The downside to this is when you come to fly a standard helicopter, fixed wings would be the same and gyros, but if you come to fly a standard helicopter that's not got a self-leveling mode in it, and you pushed and held the stick, the helicopter would just roll on its top and crash. So it gives a little bit of, let me say, a bad way of flying for a modern helicopter like I want to go through. But for a GPS, it's absolutely brilliant, and a beginner can use this ACE controller all the way through. Even when you switch everything into 3, so the fastest mode, you put the fastest mode on, you put the self-leveling mode on. It's good because it always comes back to level as soon as you let go of the sticks. It will continue. Again, I've described this in my flight video. It will continue in the direction or attitude you left it, but it will level. So if you've got it on a fast like that, it will level to that, but it will continue going forwards. But as, let me say, a second step beginner, you could fly in the FFL mode. But other than this, on the GPS mode, you've got 3 flight settings or 3 flight speeds, which is nice. You've got the control of bank to link that, which you can have in GPS. You can have both of those again, or all 3 speeds and the bank if you put it into the FFL. But what you get when you have FFL and you have the speeds, when you go, the speeds are much quicker basically, and the reactions of the helicopter is much quicker. You lead a lot less stick movement. I love the new ACE controller. This is great. I am even now thinking, should I go down the route of all my helis having the ACE controller in, and just to keep this self-leveling mode and come away from this. I have the EC145. Again, there's a link above, and that has a H1 controller in it. I'm considering going that way now with all my helicopters, to have the ACE controller, because I like very much. I fly Futaba, and of course it's FHSS, so it's compatible all with S-Bus. All I would have to do is put the connect the receiver, an S-Bus receiver on FHSS, and set my transmitter to this. It is a little bit more comprehensive in the transmitter setup, but it's possible because I've done this with the 145. So there's food for thought. So we'll have the helicopter up again once more, just have a final look at it. I will do a few more flight videos, but not many more. I don't like to, I probably do one on an annual basis now. Is it worth £800? This is debatable. I do think they're starting to price themselves out. I know they, Flywing have got to recover some of the money for the controller, the ACE controller, but to jump from the 600 to the 800 for a not much bigger helicopter is for me a little step too far. I would pay £700 for this. I'm talking also as well here, please remember this is UK prices because we have to have it imported and this all adds extra cost, etc. So yes, you can buy them much cheaper somewhere else, I'm sure, but not in England. So I bought mine from Midland Helicopters, so I didn't have to pay import duty and have the worry of it coming damaged. Like Brian Phillips RC that actually stood on his in delivery, the delivery company. So I know Midland Helicopters will check before they ship, and clearly you're getting a product that's coming known to be fine. So yeah, it's I did pay money for it. I paid the £800, and yes, some people will say I'm absolutely crazy, but for me, I just feel it's another good step for me to help to learn, because I can get much closer to having to fly the helicopter myself, which then with my other helicopters is helping me to progress there. With this, I'm getting the actual attitudes and everything, so when it's banking like this is what I want to see my normal helicopters do. And in a way I do like this coming back level and flight level if things go wrong. So I've flown this now in its basic of basic modes that I can, so speed level 3, FFL, no GPS, and not coordinated turns. I didn't put the coordinated turns, so I've got to coordinate the turns myself. And it's a lovely helicopter to fly. It is very close to the other non-GPS stabilized helis I have, and it's as close as I'm going to get without. Let me say it's the closest to a standard helicopter. One last gripe I have with the control system is on the H1 controller, you can set the low voltage cutoff. With this you can't. At 3.8 volts it starts to return to home. What you have to do is flick the switch into home and then drop back into GPS or ATT mode. It will continue flying until it reaches 3.71 volts, and then you can't switch off, then it comes to you. So you must remember, because you still have I'm getting 55% left in my battery when it first comes to home for low voltage. So if I cut that out and bring it back, I'm down to the safe level of 3.72 and around about 25% in the battery. But at that point, you cannot switch return to home off. You can go into home and bring back to GPS, but it still continues to come home, which is very good. One other thing that I found while I was flying this, which was I didn't think about when I was setting the heli up at first and on the workbench, I wasn't observant of my voltage level on the transmitter, and the helicopter returned to home not because of low voltage on the flight pipe, but because of low voltage on the transmitter. And this I love. It came by, landed exactly where it was, helicopter shut down, and the second it had shut down, the transmitter switched off and I couldn't switch it back on. So this feature I like very much. Okay, sorry for rambling on. It's a long video, this one, I'm sure. I hope you find it useful. I hope you find all the also flight videos useful that I've done, and the setup video. If you have the money, I would suggest buy it. Great helicopter. I've had loads of fun with it already. I'm probably around about 3 hours of flying time. Very nice, very happy with it, and I may now retire my 450L. Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.